John Cheese, if that is your real name. Such a funny joke. Ho, ho, ho. Funny joke. Funny joke. John Cheese depends on the tried and true way of writing, of portraying the argument as irrational, wildly out of control guy, in his own view is calm and reasonable. It is a tactic only used by the poorest of writers, so you have been warned. I'm going to skip the hilarious jokes in this article. Hilarious. I say, I can't stop laughing. He is such a funny guy. He really is. I'm busting up right now at his jokes. Ha ha ha. I'm going to skip the jokes. I'm going to only focus on the facts and the points he makes. So without further ado, my response to 4 video game complaints we're just going to have to get over. Quote from the intro. There are a few things that have come up recently in gaming news. And then there's like a joke. And so it basically means make us angry. There isn't a goddamn thing we can do about it because the gaming companies are running out of sensible options to prevent a significant portion of their profits from being bulldozed into a furnace. So we make seemingly valid, often in vain arguments like, I'll touch on later how a statement about video game companies running out of valid ways to keep their profits from being bulldozed into a furnace is complete bullshit. So let's just continue on to number 4. In-game ads will destroy the industry. Under the complaint section of number 4, he portrays consumers as poor community college students who spend too much money on video game products and not bills. The old, video gamers are failures at life and have shit priorities joke. Huh, so funny. It's funny, it's funny, it's funny, it's funny, it's funny. On to the reality. Mr. Cheese conjectures that the in-game ads would only be for free-to-play games. He only guesses, though. He does not know. And it is my opinion that the in-game ad patent should be viewed with suspicion for the exact reason that we don't know what kind of games it would be used for. He goes on to say that gamers will say, "This is bullshit," every time an ad pops up while continuing to buy and play their games. Like they've always done. That was a quote. That statement is such a cop-out. You really are liking him now, aren't you? I know I am. I say if there absolutely has to be in-game ads, and I don't think there has to be, put them in the loading screens. I mean, that's a good idea, right? I mean, you only use the loading screens to run it off to the bathroom anyway. Number 3, blocking used games will make gamers rebel. I think you can imagine how the complaint section sounded, so let's just skip it onto the reality. If it turns out to be true that future consoles will block used games, quote from the article, keep in mind we bought video games in record numbers long before the used game industry was even a thing. Yes, he said that. He said that. Implying stores haven't been selling used games since forever, for fuck's sake. He must think that there were like never any used game stores before GameStop. He goes on to say that game stores are not required to kick back any money it made to the people that made the video games. That game manufacturers have to pool all of the profit within the first 3 months of release. That the game company jacks up the price to pull in as much money as they can in a short window and throw any risky content out the window in favor of tried and true formulas. Example, Brown and Bloom shooters. All because of you, you filthy used game customer, you. That is why there's Brown and Bloom games everywhere. Shooters, generic FPS shooters. Yes, it's because of fucking you. You buying the used video games. Mr. Cheese seems to think that game manufacturers should have a monopoly on the game market. Heck, maybe it should be that way for every product ever made. Fuck used bookstores. Why aren't the publishers getting that money? Same goes for consignment stores. Fuck them. Buying used furniture or clothes or appliances? You are ruining the economy. Oh boy. It really seems like Mr. Cheese's style of argument is rubbing off on me. Back on track. The cost of used gaming is baked into the price up front. If you're losing too much money, raise the price. If the price is too high, make games more efficiently. Cut back on marketing. Successful indie games are proof that games can be made with the majority of costs going into the game and not a shit ton into marketing. The dynamics of the industry needs to change for the products to get out of their slump. Mr. Cheese wouldn't think so, though. It is us, the consumers, that are fucking up their profits. Not the company's fault at all. Number 2, the always connected system should not be used on a single-player game. The Cheeseman argues that online login to play a single-player game is the last resort against piracy. I say it is an artificial requirement. I think that major companies overestimate lost sales. Those people wouldn't have bought the game anyway. Some could think that if their company is reasonable and actually thinks about their base and less about money, that there will be less piracy of the games because of peer pressure and feelings of guilt. Do you feel bad stealing a game of a company you hate? Probably not. Would you feel guilty stealing a game of a company you like that treat their consumer base right? Probably. Of course, the debt in piracy might not be large enough for that argument. How about if you stole a game and were later given a chance to pay for it? Like a little thing pops up that says, "Hey, what's up? We know this is a stolen copy. You made it this far, so I guess you like it. Want to buy?" I don't know. Number 1, they're dumbing down games and losing their core audience. In the complaint section, he uses WoW as an example of a game being dumbed down and losing its subscribers. In reality, he said it is because his subscribers are getting married and having kids. I say it is because there is real competition for World of Warcraft that there wasn't at its peak. He goes on to say that games are being dumbed down to attract a new, younger fan base. Younger viewers won't play a game if it's too hard. For that, he compares Super Mario Brothers to Modern Warfare. Okay, whatever. No. The Cheesemeister seems to think that only children played video games when home computers and consoles were popping up and becoming a thing in almost every home. There were games for kids and games for adults. Yes, you are more likely to play video games now if you did as a child, but you don't automatically stop as soon as you're past college age or get married. As then, there are now games for children, teens, and adults, for casual and hardcore gamers. The thing is, with video games becoming more and more popular, casual games will be made more and marketed more. It isn't because all gamers are suddenly getting married and having children. And then at the end of the article, he says that video game companies are going broke and going out of business because gamers are growing up and their audience is there, not because the company couldn't adjust to the times to cater to their base. Okay. That's my response to your article, Mr. Cheese. I am looking forward to all the discussion that will be now going on in the comment section of this video.